Hello there guys, welcome to Rockstar Plays. This is a brand new random review. I like doing these every so often. For those that don't know, it's a free flow review, meaning I pretty much just improv a review off the top of my head, and being able to improvise is a key aspect. So as you can probably tell by the title of this episode, this particular review is a game that I've had my eye on for some time. I picked it up sometime last year, and I'm finally getting around to reviewing it in my shorthand form. To me personally, subjectively, one of the best games ever made, and definitely one of the best games Rockstar's ever made. In lieu of the sequel, this is my review of Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, so you guys know Red Dead Redemption was released, I believe, in 2010, so 7 years ago. Wow, doesn't that make you feel old? Developed by Rockstar, as I've said. Personally prefer it to GTA, just want to get that out there from the beginning. Okay, so to start this off with the story, for those that don't know, Red Dead Redemption is essentially an open world western game, and there's not that many on the system. I think Gun might have been one of the very few. For those that don't know, this is essentially a sequel to Red Dead Revolver for the PlayStation 2, and I think it was also on the Xbox and possibly the GameCube, I could be wrong there. And it's the prequel to Red Dead Redemption 2, even though it follows a different story. So, the year was 1911, it's set in America in the Wild West, and apparently it's dying. When federal agents threaten his family, former outlaw John Marston is forced to pick up his guns again and hunt down the gang of criminals he once called friends. Experience an epic fight for survival across the sprawling expanses of the American West and Mexico, as John Marston struggles to bury his blood-stained past, one man at a time. Outlaws to the end. So essentially you play as a character called John Marston, just going off the back of it. You play as John Marston, who is essentially a outlaw former cowboy who has been betrayed by his now former friends. And it's a way of starting over. He wants a brand new life, and for those that don't know, without spoiling it too much, his past does catch up with him. This game is infamously known as one of the best reviewed games of all time. It's got 10 out of 10 on multiple reviews. I hold it in high regard. It was released on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I didn't play it on the PlayStation 3, I felt bad that I never did, so having it on the 360 is pretty cool. Gameplay wise, it handles like you might expect a open world game to handle. You know, you play as John Marston, you can visit quote unquote whorehouses, so to speak, you know, bars for fun. You can get drunk, you can play poker, you can rob people, you can hunt, you can trade for supplies and stuff. It's pretty immersive and it's pretty open-ended. It's one of those games that I think you should own if you have a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, alongside maybe Max Payne 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, some of you know that the reason this is hopefully going to be short form format and improvise off the top of my head is because I'm planning other things at the moment, so I'm just trying to create content as and when I can. So I apologise if this seems a little lackluster, or indeed I'm skipping over certain parts of the story. But a game that has so much to offer, I don't know if my words can do this game justice. It's probably one of my favourite games of all time, especially on the Xbox 360. It's a game I go back to every so often. I just love the whole Wild West theme, and in lieu of Red Dead Redemption 2, we are finally getting a sequel. I will be picking that up on the PlayStation 4 upon release. Now, some of you know that the reason this is hopefully going to be short form format and improvise off the top of my head is because I'm planning other things at the moment, so I'm just trying to create content as and when I can. So I apologise if this seems a little lackluster, or indeed I'm skipping over certain parts of the story. But a game that has so much to offer, I don't know if my words can do this game justice. It's probably one of my favourite games of all time, especially on the Xbox 360. It's a game I go back to every so often. I just love the whole Wild West theme, and in lieu of Red Dead Redemption 2, we are finally getting a sequel. I will be picking that up on the PlayStation 4 upon release. I wanted to add this in at some point, so I don't know where this will be spliced in, but hopefully I won't forget to say this, that there was also another game released to follow Red Dead Redemption. It almost acted as DLC, but there was also a physical release to go with the standalone copy. And it was called Undead Nightmare, which was essentially, you get to play, I believe, as John Marston, except you're fighting off a zombie epidemic rather than regular enemies. Overall, I feel Red Dead Redemption is one of the best games that Rockstar have ever made. As I said, there's not really that much to say other than if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. Why haven't you been playing it? I feel like an idiot for not playing it for all those years. So this was set, what, 106 years ago? And the fact that this game holds up, obviously it wasn't released 106 years ago, that would be crazy. But it's one of those games that I feel definitely stands out in your collection with the red backing and the typography on the front. It definitely stands out in your collection. I think it pops really well. I think a physical copy is the best way to go, but if you've only got digital, then still enjoy the game anyway. Just play the game is what I'm saying. That's the best advice I could give. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this random review slash ramble of Red Dead Redemption. Hopefully it's not too boring for you guys. I've been Heracross Plays, and I'll catch you next time.